The hunter suddenly noticed something alarming in the mountains. Despite the scorching heat, the man had been standing under the sun for a full 3 hours. And even stranger, there was a woman behind him constantly digging a hole. The hunter immediately sensed something was off, so he walked over and fired a shot at the man. The man instinctively flinched, but his feet refused to move an inch. This made the hunter even more suspicious. Convinced the two were hiding something, he pointed his gun at the woman and demanded answers. But she explained, the man had stepped on a landmine, and she was digging the hole, so he could jump in when it exploded. To avoid being blown to bits, the hunter couldn't help but laugh, saying he'd hunted in these mountains for over a decade, and never heard of any landmines here. Still, he lowered his rifle. But the next moment, the hunter threw a stone when the man wasn't looking. Seeing him still frozen in place, he finally believed the man was truly trapped. More importantly, no matter what he did next, the man wouldn't dare resist. Then the hunter asked the woman, "Why did your friend step on a landmine?"
It doesn't matter. Chris can't stay like this much longer.
That piqued his interest. He pressed further, "Why would your boyfriend do this?" The woman refused to answer, making the hunter even more intrigued. He used this to blackmail her. If she wanted his help, she'd have to give him something. The hunter leered at her hungrily, his eyes practically bulging. The man quickly offered everything he had, a quarter and a credit card, hoping to settle things peacefully. But the hunter seemed uninterested in this fortune, and tossed it aside. Then he started groping the woman, watching his lover being violated. The man suddenly found his spine, claiming his friend had gone downhill for help, and by now, was probably halfway up the mountain. If the hunter knew what was good for him, he'd better leave. But the hunter's response was,
Stop!
he didn't buy the man's bluff. The woman reluctantly agreed to the hunter's terms, meekly taking off her scarf and handing it over. Pleased with his prize, the hunter kept his word, and began digging the hole with exaggerated effort. But then a radio crackled to life. The woman's hope flared. She tried to use it to call for help. This time, the hunter made an even more degrading demand. He threw the scarf and told her to crawl after it, then bring it back in her teeth. Humiliating, but she obeyed. Satisfied, the hunter lent her the radio, only for her to realize the person on the other end didn't speak English. She foolishly asked the hunter to translate. He then proposed a game. For every sentence he translated, she'd have to remove an article of clothing. To save the man, she agreed to his twisted request. But after all that talking, the hunter hadn't translated a single word truthfully. He was only toying with her, for his own sick amusement. Seeing the woman break down in tears, the man burned with rage. Having had his fun, the hunter finally dropped the act, raised his gun, and ordered her to strip completely.